ExpressVPN is one of the household names in the VPN market, but is it actually safe? In this ExpressVPN review, I'll dive into all the important aspects of this provider, including security measures and notable features that you'll need to know about before pulling the trigger on an ExpressVPN plan. Let's start this ExpressVPN review out by covering the good things about this provider. ExpressVPN offers an extensive list of gateways to connect to. This can be the deciding factor for some folks when choosing a VPN, especially for those who are into content streaming. Moreover, ExpressVPN has a certification for IOXT, or the Internet of Secure Things, a global security standard for devices and mobile applications. Basically, this means that ExpressVPN takes its security measures seriously. And make no mistake, getting this certification isn't a small feat. Only a few other elite VPN providers have it, including NordVPN and ProtonVPN. Furthermore, ExpressVPN uses RAM-only servers for added security, a feature that's become pretty standard among top VPNs these days. And ExpressVPN played a significant role in setting this standard, as they were one of the first to implement RAM-only servers back in 2019. Of course, the competition quickly followed in their footsteps, with some other big names like NordVPN and Surfshark adopting this type of server infrastructure in the following years. Sounds pretty good, right? Then why not get a discount for ExpressVPN, or for any of these other great providers? I've got the best deals for all three down in the description, so feel free to grab the one that you like the most, or just scan the QR code on screen. Alright, with the nerdy part of our ExpressVPN review out of the way, let's take a peek at some of the other cool ExpressVPN features. The first feature I want to highlight is called AirCove. It simplifies the usually frustrating process of setting up a VPN on your router, especially if you're dealing with older hardware. I recently tried configuring a VPN on a router with outdated firmware, and without ExpressVPN on router, it would have been a nightmare. Luckily, their setup is quick and painless. If you want a VPN that protects all your devices 24/7 at home, ExpressVPN is definitely worth a look. And I'm not the only one who thinks this. AirCove was such a huge success that ExpressVPN went a step further and launched a proprietary router with ExpressVPN built in. But let's be honest, setting up a VPN on your router is more of a cybersecurity enthusiast move. But there's another feature that's way more universal: ExpressVPN keys. It's a password manager built to make handling sensitive info like logins and credit card details simple. And honestly, it does a solid job. The standard password manager features like autofill and password generation work smoothly, which is the core of what you want. It lacks some of the more advanced features like dark web monitoring that dedicated password managers offer, but it's still a huge step up from not using a password manager at all. If you appreciate this video and want to see more cybersecurity content, make sure to like the video and subscribe. It helps us a lot. Thanks. ExpressVPN may be a good provider for some use cases, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. You know, all that talk about transparency and how it's essential in cybersecurity, especially in the VPN market? Well, there are a couple more important things for you to know about ExpressVPN on that front. First, ExpressVPN doesn't disclose the number of servers it operates, which isn't ideal to say the least. All industry leaders disclose this information, so I'm not sure why ExpressVPN doesn't. ExpressVPN released a blog post explaining why the server count isn't as important as people think. While it does have some alright arguments like more servers doesn't mean better speeds, all of this should be taken with a grain of salt. In some cases, more servers does mean better performance, especially when you consider the provider's scale. If you're using a very popular VPN with millions of daily users and the servers are too crowded, your user experience will suffer. Symptoms like slower speeds, frequent CAPTCHAs, and blacklisted IPs for streaming and other services are never pleasant to deal with. So the general rule is, the more high-quality servers, the better. So that ain't fantastic, and things get worse when it comes to ExpressVPN pricing. ExpressVPN is one of the most expensive providers on the market. With prices like these, you'd think the infrastructure would be premium, but the truth is, it's not. Not only do we not know the number of servers the provider has, but it also encountered multiple serious security issues, one of which is leaking DNS requests. Granted, it was fixed, but it's still a stain on ExpressVPN's reputation. Speaking of which, Cape Technologies, the company that owns ExpressVPN, was formerly known as Crossrider. Why does it matter? Well, Crossrider is known as a former malware distributor. Only later did the company pivot to cybersecurity and acquire established VPN brands like ExpressVPN and CyberGhost. So yeah, not the best track record for a cybersecurity company. So, what are the main takeaways after this ExpressVPN Review 2025 edition? Can you trust ExpressVPN? Before pulling the trigger on the provider, I'd suggest you first consider ExpressVPN's competition, like Surfshark and NordVPN. Both have shined across many independent audits, which proved their competence and revealed no security issues. Both NordVPN and Surfshark have more privacy-oriented features than ExpressVPN does too. Like, for example, NordVPN's Dark Web Monitor that alerts you if your email address appears in any data breaches, or additional ad and tracker blocker with anti-malware capabilities. And Surfshark doesn't trail behind with its alternative ID, which masks your identity online with a separate email and name. And it also has a full-fledged built-in antivirus and blocker. The bottom line is that if I had to choose between ExpressVPN and NordVPN, or ExpressVPN and Surfshark VPN, I'd go with either of those alternatives over ExpressVPN. Both are way more affordable and become an even better deal if you click my coupon code link in the description. That's it for my review of ExpressVPN. Don't forget to save money with my coupon code and stay safe online. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.